If you've determined that an MBA is essential to your career and developmental goals, but are unsure of which format to pursue, I'm here to help. My name is Laura Nelson. I'm an admissions consultant at Target Test Prep with 15 years of experience in MBA admissions consulting. I've helped hundreds of candidates secure coveted admissions to their dream MBA programs. These days, there are many ways to pursue an MBA, including full-time, part-time, online, executive programs, and more. Each of these formats has its strengths and drawbacks, and I'm going to detail the pros and cons of 4 types of MBA programs throughout this video. First, let's talk about full-time MBA programs. Traditionally, the full-time MBA format spans 2 years, although you'll find 1-year program formats at select institutions in the United States, Europe, and elsewhere. The admissions process for full-time MBA programs is the most competitive among all of the types of programs I'll discuss in this video. The pros of a full-time MBA program enable students to focus on the curriculum along with their career and other goals. Full-time MBA students have the opportunity to get immersed with the MBA and university communities and can also pursue extracurricular activities. Students in full-time MBA programs build deep relationships with peers that pay dividends throughout the years, even following graduation. Full-time MBA students are leaving the workforce for 2 years and are betting on themselves and the fact that they'll be more employable in the summer internship recruiting process and following graduation. In exchange for the opportunity cost of missing out on 2 years of income, students can gain access to a full suite of job search and placement resources. Most, if not all, of the recruiting efforts on campus are focused on the full-time MBA population. The cons of a full-time MBA program include the associated costs. Top programs are very expensive to attend across tuition, fees, and room and board. Many candidates rely on a combination of scholarship funds and financial aid, including loans, to make ends meet. In addition to that, students must plan a discretionary budget if they plan to travel for pleasure or on recruiting trips while pursuing an MBA. The math works out for many students attending top MBA programs because they land on more lucrative career tracks following graduation. However, it is a risk for those who don't land higher paying jobs and aren't able to pay back the cost of pursuing an MBA in a reasonable time frame. When students are applying for and enrolling in full-time MBA programs, they don't know what kind of economy and job market they'll graduate into. So this is a risk to take into consideration. Let's talk about part-time MBAs. Several of the top MBA programs in the US offer part-time options, which provide a ton of benefits. The pros of a part-time MBA is that students can pursue the degree while continuing in their jobs. For those who like their jobs and are happy in their current career paths, they don't have to decide between working and earning an income and pursuing an education. Additionally, part-time MBAs offer a high degree of flexibility. While full-time MBA programs require all students to complete their degree on the same schedule, part-time programs in general offer more flexibility. Students can reduce their course loads when needed and complete their coursework on their own schedules. Courses are generally offered on nights and/or weekends, depending on the program, and are designed to accommodate a typical workday and workweek schedule. Another pro for part-time MBA programs is that some companies elect to sponsor employees pursuing the degree. What that means is tuition is covered or at least subsidized, relieving the burden on the student while he or she is also able to continue earning income. Often, room and board aren't considerations because the student is not relocating from where he or she already lives, so relocation isn't an issue either. However, we're increasingly seeing people relocate to part-time programs if they have flexibility in location at their job. Finally, part-time MBA programs have different admissions criteria. They're generally easier to get into, so it's possible for students to get a better brand on their resumes if they're willing to pursue a part-time option. The cons for pursuing a part-time MBA include the recruiting opportunities. Most part-time programs aren't designed to facilitate the same recruiting and job placement processes as full-time MBA programs. It's assumed that students are in part-time programs and on career tracks that they plan to continue with. So, students who are looking to leverage the part-time MBA to pivot in their careers and find something new, this is a major downside and risk to consider. Additionally, with the part-time MBA, it's more difficult to take advantage of networking opportunities and build relationships with your classmates. I'm not saying this is impossible, but with competing demands of a full-time job, this is generally more challenging to create time for and meaningfully invest in. Finally, a part-time MBA may not improve a professional's salary or employment prospects when sticking with the same employer. This may be tremendously helpful in subsequent jobs and as one progresses in his or her career, but it won't have the immediate impact that a full-time MBA may have. The pros for pursuing an online MBA are similar to those for pursuing a part-time MBA. Students in online MBA programs don't need to leave their full-time jobs to pursue an online MBA and can take advantage of the flexibility of these programs. Many online programs have some slack in terms of how long they expect students to complete the program. Additionally, online MBA programs generally do not require students to relocate. As a result, students can access great programs without having to change locations and uproot their lives. Similar to the part-time programs, online MBA programs are generally easier to access from an admissions perspective. The cons for pursuing an MBA online include the lack of in-person networking opportunities and limited recruiting opportunities. Similar to the part-time MBA, these programs are generally not designed for career switchers or job seekers. Instead, they're great for students who want to supplement what they're doing in their careers already. Additionally, there are fewer opportunities to get to know people in a genuine way and fewer opportunities to access that program's recruiting resources. Finally, let's talk about executive MBA programs. It should be noted that people pursuing executive MBAs tend to have more work experience than those entering full-time MBA programs. They tend to be in middle management or leadership positions and are generally on career tracks that they intend to continue pursuing. The benefits of executive MBA programs is that students can form relationships with leaders and professionals from different industries that they would not otherwise meet. Like part-time and online MBA programs, executive MBA programs have a degree of flexibility that aren't found in full-time MBA programs. Sometimes executive MBA students are sponsored or subsidized by their employers, which relieves some of that financial burden of attending and investing in one's own education. Finally, like some of the other formats I mentioned, the admissions process can be less stringent for EMBA programs. In other words, they can be easier to get into than some full-time MBA programs. The downside of executive MBA programs is that access to recruiting opportunities is limited to non-existent. Like part-time MBA programs, executive MBA programs are less focused on placing candidates in new roles after the program concludes. I hope this helps you understand some of the pros and cons of the different formats of MBA programs. If you would benefit from an experienced partner in the MBA admissions process for whichever program you decide to pursue, book a free consult with one of Target Test Prep's experienced MBA admissions consultants today.